Good evening. Sorry about the 2-minute late start there. I need to fix the time on my PC. The one I was using to keep tabs on everything, I realized it's like 2 minutes behind. Not sure why my computer's doing that, but oh well, here we are. I have my retro PC setup kind of taken apart. Not necessarily taken apart on that level, just that I am using some of the parts for a project video behind me. I'm working on a new video, believe it or not. And I didn't feel like putting everything together tonight, so I figured, well, I want to play something on the MiSTer. And I kind of felt like console games tonight, but I wanted to have a little bit of a PC angle, so we are playing games that are on, that were ported from PC. Hey Ted, good evening. Or very early morning, I keep saying, I'm forgetting to say it to you, but good very early morning. So we're going to try and check out a few games that I found a list of PC ports that were, well, PC games that were ported to the SNES, basically. So if you guys have requests or specific ones, just let me know. I'm just going to hop around a few games. Just going to hang out and try a few different SNES games, see how they run. You know, some are well-known, some may be less well-known, or ones that you may be familiar with or are aware of. I certainly have played a few of these, but not all of them by a long shot. So I'm just going to go through a few of them and see what it looks like. And it's funny because the news going on right now, modern news, pardon the tangent, but I have been playing Cyberpunk on PC and really enjoying it, and I think they just delisted it from the PlayStation Store, so that's a big hit for them there, but oh well. Anyway, so we are playing on the MiSTer, and the MiSTer is this guy. If you guys are not familiar with the MiSTer, it is a hardware emulation device, if that makes sense. It tries to emulate the actual hardware of a console or computer. And I mentioned it before, and if you've been watching my stream, you guys probably heard me ramble on about it. So the MiSTer can almost hardware accurately experience. I said it because I read what you just said, but the MiSTer can hardware emulate consoles, or again, PCs or computers. So in this case here, we're emulating a Super Nintendo. So we can actually select between our different things to emulate here in this case, and actually I'm playing on a CRT over here and capturing at the same time, which is one of the benefits of the MiSTer. You can select the console you want to run. What happens now when I select SNES is that it actually reconfigures the whole chip on the board to be a Super Nintendo. You know, how close that is to the actual hardware or not, that's up for debate, and also they keep getting better and they keep adding more features. But a lot of these consoles are cycle accurate, meaning that if you run a ROM on it, it's like running on real hardware. And is much closer than software emulation, like a RetroPie, which again is awesome. I'm not ragging on any particular way you play a game. I love the RetroPie as well. But this gets closer to the bare metal in that sense. It's the closest we can get without producing the same console again. So that's why the MiSTer has become a huge thing in retro community, because they keep putting out updates to it, and especially arcade cores. They just released, or a independent guy named Joe Tego, or that's his screen name, just released a Capcom CPS 1.5 arcade system. So then it's a full emulation of that arcade console or that arcade system from Capcom, and plays like the real thing. So you've been able to do this on MAME, but the accuracy is the idea, is that it's so close to the real hardware that it's a more true experience. And above all, what I notice is playing with a wired controller, and I'm using one of these. I'm using it hardwired, but it's one of these 8-bit DOE gamepads that has like the joysticks and everything. But the cool thing with this guy is that with the wire, the lag is so low because it's so direct connected. There's no software layer in between. It's going directly into the console. That the lag is so low that it feels really good to play it. That's the best way I can describe it. It just feels good to play. So now, of course, we're going to play some games that probably not necessarily should have ever been released on the Super Nintendo, right? So, again, if you guys are familiar with ones in particular, let me know and I'll hop to that. But I did find a list of a few that I knew were ported, and probably the one that comes to mind for me is Doom. Yes, the Super Nintendo version of Doom that should never have existed or been done. So yes, you're loading a ROM file, but it is, in that sense, like plugging in a cartridge is the idea. It is so accurate. And the cool thing, too, is that... I'll make sure it's too loud. See if that's alright there, just let me know. All these games are different volume, too. That stinks. That's too low, probably. It just dumps you right in the game. Trying to find a good balance here on the audio. Okay, that's Super Nintendo episode or EM1. Boy, I gotta increase the brightness to it. It's very dark. It's not fast. So I don't think anyone thought that the Super Nintendo would be able to run Doom. I don't think that was ever anticipated. We're gonna make it a little brighter. And the fact that it actually was able to was like a programming feat. I think that they managed to squeeze it onto this system, and it's not fast, but it still runs. And again, it's like a marvel of software development or engineering that they were able to squeeze this onto here. But if this is the only experience you had with Doom, I guess cool. But I feel bad because it's not really comparable to the PC version. But the original Super Nintendo ran at like, what was it? It was really slow. It was not fast. Most of the more advanced stuff you saw on the Super Nintendo come out later were due to the add-on chips. Like everyone is familiar with the Super effects on Star Fox and everything, right? Well, Star Fox, or those cartridges, had an extra chip on it, which was, again, the Super effects chip. And Nintendo designed a Super Nintendo to be able to be expandable, so it can use extra horsepower. The core Super Nintendo is not fast at all. So they used this extra hardware booster basically then to play a lot of later games. And there's actually a movement in the community right now to use some of these chips. The one that's the most powerful thing is the SA1 chip. And they use those instruction sets to run older games faster. So one early launch game, I think, was Gradius 3 in North America, and it's just very slow when a lot of things are happening. Look at those pixels over there. Those are bad guys. Let's shoot them. I mean, it's playable, but I wouldn't put much beyond that. They skimped on a lot of things. I believe, for example, objects don't rotate with you, and you can't see the behinds of objects. There's been a lot of fascinating documentaries about how they managed to do this in the first place. And I think it is using the Super FX chip too, but it's... Okay, don't rag on me now, because I don't remember all the secrets in this game either, so... I do remember here... Aha! Oop, I know shotgun's out here, that I know. It's funny, especially after getting used to listening to the enhanced MIDI soundtrack on the MT32 emulation device, whatever. Playing it like this is, yeah, again, impressive, very, very impressive, but feels like it would be a tech demo or something instead. But they pull it off. Then they removed some, like, for example, I know here is supposed to be like a wire fence. Probably just can't handle that. It runs surprisingly well, actually, but one thing that the MiSTer can do, which is it can overclock the Super Nintendo. Not that it just, like, running an emulator faster, but it actually, as I understand it, it reduces the speed, or the wait time between the cycles. So it provides less, like, sometimes you might just speed something up really fast and it just goes, you know, silly fast and it's not working well. But this actually reduces the time between the clock cycles, as I understand it, and I'm explaining it poorly, I'm sure, but the sum of it is that it's a clean acceleration of it. So in this case here, you're running with a beefed up Super Nintendo. But if we're going to run it true, we will run it with the normal settings here. And you can change all the stuff on the fly, because that's what the MiSTer allows you to do. And again, we're back to our normal stock speed. This is how the game would have run on the original hardware. .33% secrets. I'm sorry, everyone. Every Doom lover, sorry. So it's bizarre to play Doom on a controller like this, because I mean, I want to play it on PC. I'm sure I loaded this up several times to try it out and see, but you know, I cannot change the screen size. That is that size by default, so you can't change that because I would run too slow. The quality or resolution you're seeing, that's what you get. You can't change anything of that because it just would not run. It just wouldn't run. I mean, it's barely running right now. I don't want to, you know, guess on FPS here, but we're in the teens at most. You know, more often than not, we're probably in the sub 10. Holy moly! I don't think it even gave me a difficulty, so I assume it put it in the middle somewhere. Playing Doom with a gamepad is just weird. And we'll play some other games that were ported better or like reimagined. This was, of course, was just like, hey, I wonder if we can do this. We can do it. Holy cow, let's release it. And again, it's a software engineering marvel. But yeah, probably not a, excuse me, the best experience you could have with Doom for sure. I still am fairly adamant that a over 100 Pentium processor is a fantastic fantastic way to what I was gonna say to play DOS games and everything. Like, yes, it won't play the early DOS games, but all the later DOS games that you want, like Duke Nukem 3D, Doom, Descent, all those ones that require more horsepower will run great on a machine like that. And you can use utilities to slow it down, like I did last time with Monkey Island. Yeah. You weren't a purist, Brian. Playing with gamepad, but yeah, it's interesting because I only played Doom with the keyboard. I didn't play with mouse and keyboard actually until really it's still ingrained using the my fingers on the keys. Most of that's just the way. I don't think I had a DOS or mouse driver working probably with my first 486, so that's probably what I'm guessing was happening in DOS. Well, maybe I did, but either way, I learned to play with just the keyboards. That's how I play it. But it's very weird because you use basically the shoulder buttons to strafe, and then of course you use the D-pad to move. But it's kind of sloppy, and it's because it's so slow. It's not very responsive. And again, it's props to them. This is very impressive. And again, I think it might have been Digital Foundry or someone made a documentary on how they shoehorned. My Life in Gaming, I'm not sure, but one of those big YouTube channels did a documentary on how they shoehorned this on. And again, very, very impressive. But considering what it is, it runs as you can expect. The fact that it's running this well is pretty impressive. But it's more of like a technological anecdote, or yeah, lag maybe. It's technological marvel, but again, if I would have bought this to play Doom, just to experience it, I would have been disappointed. More like, I already played Doom a lot on a PC, and I'd like to just have all the copies that I can of it, and this is neat. There you go. But again, if you're playing this as the only way, that would be disappointing as hell. No pun intended. Yeah, I mean, it looks just fine, so... And I gotta give props to the MiSTer here again now, because what's cool is that I'm playing on a CRT. The cool thing with the MiSTer is that it has a I/O board that you plug on top. You can buy that separately. That lets you get clean RGB out. And that lets me play on this Sony PVM I have here without any messing around. I just basically plug it in and I'm done. A little bit of configuration maybe, but then I can capture it output to HDMI at the same time. So all I do is plug in my HDMI and capture it, and that's it. So now I have dual output without doing any weird splitters or anything like that. Yes, it's more expensive than a Pi, for example, but I feel it's still well worth it because you're paying like, probably $200 all in for the whole kit to get a good setup. But at that point, you could buy like an accelerator for an Amiga, and that's like $150-200. And this will run an Amiga 500 accelerated fantastically, but it will also emulate all these consoles. It will do a whole bunch of different retro computers, like the Acorn, the BBC Micro. You can do a whole bunch of stuff like that, so you get all that included. And it just, the more things you enjoy, or the different things you enjoy, the more you get out of it, and it keeps growing constantly. So the MiSTer has become like my favorite modern piece of technology because I keep adding stuff to it. It's fantastic. It reminds me of the early days of MAME when there were just new stuff was coming out all the time. Let me know if you can hear that. I guess I'm really trying not to go over on the audio this time. I'm really trying not to blow your eardrums out like I've done in the past. So I might just, go on the lower end more so. But how's everyone doing tonight otherwise? Besides, getting seizures from playing Doom at 10 FPS here. Hopefully everyone's staying safe. You guys played any interesting games lately? Any retro games? They keep coming out with new, retro games all the time, and keep not keeping up on it. Because now, yes, I got sucked into the cyberpunk world, and as many faults as it has on PC, it runs pretty well, and I'm having a blast in that game, honestly, and it's sacrificing sleep because of that. But I'm also love the cyberpunk aesthetic. Got Cyber City, and it's starting to get hard to control this game now. It's so sloppy. Makes me want to watch a speedrun of this and see how they fare, because the speedruns on Doom on okay, game is a little quiet. Okay, let me turn it up a little bit then. Hopefully that's a little better. The speedrun of Doom has gotten so ridiculous now because so many people have played it. The oh, I got the fist. Huh. Cannot open this door? There we go. I think the auto aim is pretty generous in this version here because I'm barely shooting in that direction. There we go. Yeah, it's a little hard with the sound because I want you guys to hear, if you can, the audio, but of course it's pretty low compared to the shots. I don't want the shot to be overwhelming, but... Well, that's a cool thing, too. There are a lot of games coming out, too, that are very retro style. On Steam, I know there's a ton of, like... I'm a big fan of the Metroidvania genre, which is probably a little tired now. The Symphony of the Night, Super Metroid kind of style. There's a lot of games coming out like that with 2D pixel art that usually are not... Ooh, shotgun. There we go. Now we're playing with power. I was gonna chuckle out of the Windows 95 ad that, oh boy, in this open area now, it's actually taking a while for the buttons to respond. It's running so slow. Come on. Ah. There we go. Yeah, fortunately the auto aim is so generous here now, but anyway, there's a lot of those like 2D pixel art games that I really enjoy, and I have hooked up a CRT to my main PC as well. I don't play a ton of modern games anymore, I think, but Cyberpunk definitely drew me in. But then using a CRT, I can play all those games in their pixel glory using a HDMI to VGA adapter dongle thingamajigger. And it's a smaller Dell later generation CRT that had just been sitting at work unused, or it was in... Oh no! I can't dodge them because I can't see what's going on, so we'll just have to go by feel here. There we go, got him. That has such low runtime on it, it's very clear, and it actually took a little while to warm up that CRT because it had been unused for so long before the colors kind of came in. I heard that's a pretty normal thing with CRTs that have been sitting a long time. I don't remember where to go. There is a map, cool. They should have released a game like this with just a map. Get the blue key. We finish this level and then switch to a different game here, because this is brutal. And there were many other games that were re-envisioned, we'll touch on a couple here, that were re-envisioned for Super Nintendo where it fit. And a lot of them were, games that might have been on Amiga. There's a lot of Amiga conversions on SNES. Pure PC ones, or less. Like this being one. Again, the PC, of course, is much more powerful. Look at this. There's so many secrets in Doom. That's what I get from playing the modern Doom 2016 too. Or Doom Eternal. I haven't played that one, but there's like secrets out the wazoo, and you gotta really work for them too. Where was the blue door? I don't remember. I think I was down here. Nope. It's funny, I played Doom 2 more than Doom 1, because by the time I got into PC, I actually, this was Christmas 94 then, I think. I got, for Christmas, my parents were going to buy me a computer, and we hadn't gotten it yet. It was going to be after to get it during the Christmas holiday sales, and so I got to pick out one big box game from my parents, and that was Transport Tycoon, which I still have. My brother got me Doom 2, because of course he wanted to play it, and so that was my first experience with Doom. Really, was playing Doom 2. I didn't have a computer powerful enough to play Doom by a long shot before that. I had 286, I think. That was like a hand-me-down from my dad's office work. So then getting the, where the heck is the, I suppose I can zoom out. Yeah, I can. Where's the blue door? It's down here. I don't remember. That's where I started. Oh, it's so sluggish now. There's the blue door. Oh my goodness. It takes like several seconds for the controls to respond. Again, just give it a, you know, tout out to the MiSTer again, because it is playing it like it would have on an original hardware is the idea, and, I mean, at this point I have no reason not to believe it, so, not saying the RetroPie again is not awesome, I have one as well, but the idea being this is trying to be as accurate as it can to the original experience, and if the original experience was this crappy, well, mission accomplished. Oh, it's just so, it's hard to describe how choppy it is to control right now. It's just like chugging along. Come on. It's funny because I did test another game here before this one, and it ran a lot smoother because it was, you know, reprogrammed. It's not a 3D game, obviously. This kind of projection 3D, I think, is what they use, or something like that. Like it's 2D, but it's like projecting. I can't remember exactly how it's done, but I watched a quick documentary on how that's done, and it's, again, technologically very impressive for the era, because, you know, nothing had been out like Doom when it came around, so. Alright, that's just awful. So, we're gonna go back, we're gonna load another game. And I was thinking Prince of Persia, because that was on everything. I don't remember which one was the first that had Prince of Persia, but then it was basically re-envisioned for Super Nintendo, and it was like redone, so it was certainly a... Let's see where the volume is on this. I'm just really trying to keep an eye on the volume, because some of these games get super loud when you get into them. So yeah, this was redone basically for... Super Nintendo specifically, not just a... I mean, it was a port, but it was kind of a redo of the game, including all new graphics and everything, so it matches the system very well. Yeah, we all know Prince of Persia. Option. Sure. Game start. We'll see how much I die. Prince of Persia, of course, is a very, very hard game. And you get used to the controls, but this is a very fluid game on the Super Nintendo. I think they did a fantastic job porting this one, but this was on everything. I'm trying to think of any system around this era that did not have a rendition of Prince of Persia. It was on everything. I want to say, I mean, someone can maybe look it up or correct me about which system had it first. Because I'm not sure if it was made for the Apple II, or if it was made for the Amiga originally. But this was a good version of it. If you never played Prince of Persia, and most of us probably have at some point or another, or seen it, it was on everything. Like, you look on Abandonware on Prince of Persia, and it's like 40 different systems listed. It's very hard, very unforgiving. You gotta hit your jump points exactly, or you die. And I'm doing a little bit of this in memory now. I never got very far in this. I had a friend doing an Amiga 500 across the street. I mentioned him many times when I've been streaming. And he... I can't remember. Is there anything down here? You can see it operates on, like, little block sections, right? You gotta get to this block here. Can I get that to fall? Oh, look at that. Potion. Aha! That's just what it healed me. Never mind. I can't remember. It's been so long that I played this, but I certainly saw this on Amiga 500 the first time, and it was definitely simpler graphics. So this has been enhanced for the Super Nintendo. It was a later release on it, but again, it was on everything. You just gotta watch out, because you will die a very gruesome death if you fall down. And that's prevalent everywhere. Just... Oh. We want these to fall down, so we can do this. I think we're gaining first is the sword. And there's a timer running in the game. If you don't get to a certain point before the timer runs out, you will lose. So it's a very unforgiving game, but I think it's one of those, like... I think we forget how much original games like this, how much they basically had you trial and error until you got it, you know? You know, because then you'd buy a game, and that's one game you had, and the games are so plentiful and cheap these days. It's insane. Oh, and I died. Prince of Persia, everyone. So where does it restart me now? The beginning of level? Yep. So, I'll try one more time here. But that's why Prince of Persia is so brutal. It was like memorization, you got really far, like, oh, shnikes, that was it. I died on the last one, you know? And that was Prince of Persia. So, splat, yeah. There were so many gruesome little death things. I remember watching my neighbor play this on the 500, and I'm like, oh, ow, oh, God, oh, no, oh, that's unfortunate. He got skewered. The prince, which we're playing here, Prince of Persia, is subjected to many not so pleasant fates. So I wasn't sure if any of you guys have played Prince of Persia, but let me know on if you did, or in what version or format you did play. So I remember renting the Super Nintendo version, but just not playing it much because it's brutally hard. Yeah, it is extremely brutal. Uh-oh. Caught the edge there. And it's weird because the whole thing with Prince of Persia originally was that they rotoscoped or did the animation capture, and it was like the first game to use motion capture to get the fluid animations. I think it was the guy who made it, his little brother, he was like rotoscoping to get the animation. That's why they're so fluid, but it also means that they have to play out. So when you're doing something, you notice he's very like specific. I'm doing this animation. This is the thing I'm doing. You know, that's... Oh, I did it again. Literally the same thing again. Sorry, Prince. We'll try one more time, and we'll switch to a different game. And I'm pretty sure then, you know, Another World and Flashback and all those used a similar animation technique, which is why you have that very fluid, nice style when they move. Yeah, that was just this game, like, you know, it was just trial and error, and it gets harder and harder, and I never got very far on this one. I remember my neighbor got quite a bit, but you need to be persistent to get very far on this one and just keep going at it. But I'm pretty sure it was on, like, every home console, and it was on every home computer. Like, you're running out of time, too, so that's your deciding factor. You're dying a whole bunch in the beginning here, you run out of time, and you actually won't make it before the princess, I think, either is married or executed. I can't remember. Either one. Either one's fine. And of course, you learn more and more where things are, and you can just kind of book it through, but I just don't remember. It's plays fairly responsive. Oh. Ow. I lost 1 health there because that thing knocked me in the head. It's very unforgiving. Come on. I feel it helps a little bit on playing on the with the CRT then. The idea being is that there's no lag and it acts like a real thing. So how the heck do you get past that point here now? Because I can't drop down on the last one. I can do this one. But I can't... Aha, I need to go over here and drop down. Okay. Okay, maybe we won't die a gruesome death this time. Look at that. So let's see what's here then. I think the sword is down here somewhere. Just running on the caves. Aha. That's what we're looking for. Because right now you go to the right in the beginning there and there's no... Got the sword. If you go to the right in the beginning there, you run into an armed guard that will just skewer you immediately. And then you're done for. So now you gotta run all the way back. Less chance of skewering myself, maybe. Climbing, we'll see. But yeah, there were quite a few ports of different games, and the list I found, I'm not sure if it's, you know, wouldn't say it's conclusive or complete, but it does contain a lot of games, because there were a lot of franchises and games that were ported that were either re-envisioned or remade. They weren't the original what you expect, because I mean, Super Nintendo was a different beast in itself. It was a very impressive and powerful console when it came out, but it couldn't really, you know, compare to the PCs and everything. But obviously it did smooth scrolling 2D fantastic. Awesome. Maybe I'll have more people popping in. The notification is weird. That didn't work. This is gonna closer now. Come on, stop humping the wall. The notifications are weird. I never can figure out exactly how they operate or function. We're gonna get down and get that health potion here, I think so. There we go. Caught the edge there. It's such a like a pixel perfect motion on some of this stuff. It's really difficult. The day after, wow. Yeah, I don't know if that ties to like if you press the bell or how that works, but I mean I don't want to spam anyone either, so because I think I have a lot of subscribers that just watch my, you know, tech videos and they don't come up on the streams, of course, since we usually only have a handful of people on here, but I don't want necessarily them to be spammed either, so I assume it has something to do with it. You have to like pick your thing that you want to you know, follow. Or something, who knows. YouTube holds all the cards when it comes to this stuff. And I've heard, unfortunately, that they're going to basically, draw my sword? You do it automatically. So now you gotta fight this guy too. There are no save states on this because it acts like the real console. Doing pretty well so far. Aha! Beaten first try! Huzzah! That even if you do not monetize your videos, or put ads on them, that YouTube will run ads on them anyway. So that's kind of like a kind of scummy move, I guess, because they are making ridiculous money on... yeah, that's like Zara, right? They're making ridiculous money on advertisement, but then some channels decide not to monetize. Wow, so that's a password. I can't believe you made it past the first stage here. You're fine, just wait. Because, you know, some people just decide that they don't want the monetization on there. Whoa! Okay, so... Whoa! Oh, there we go. Kind of just brute forced him. Yeah, I know, it is their tube. That's the thing that's so frustrating. I wonder if there's anything down in this pit here. Let's look. Actually, we're not going to fall down there. I'll probably just die. And they hold all the cards. They own all the stuff. They own the algorithm, and they're going to do what they want to make sure that they make the most money on it. And I mean, it's their platform. But it's so frustrating how many times they hide it, you know? Well, I don't want to fight that guy if I don't have to. Go here. What's up here? I don't need that potion right now. I can save that for later, maybe. And a jump. Whew. Oh, hello. I have a feeling this is like color-coded how difficult they are, and this one seems to be that you block and fight. So yeah, that's true. I don't know if streaming's better or not, or Twitch. I've seen, you know, pretty rampant like. I think that they are like, if you don't run ads on your Twitch channel, whoops, Daisy. Good thing I caught myself there. That they will force ads in the middle of a stream. I've seen they're demoing that now, because what's happening is some people that are streaming that don't want to run ads they basically force you to run ads at certain intervals. So I see if this guy is any worse. There we go. Alright, well, it's not too bad. I seem to remember the sword fights being a lot harder than this, but they haven't just that skillful. Probably not, but well, amazed I'm doing this far on this, or doing this well on this level so far. Ooh, that's a whoa. Yeah, I grabbed the ledge and then like, sorry, shish kebab prince. How long we've been playing this now? Alright, let's try another PC port game here. And one that comes to mind that I was actually playing the other day was SimCity. SimCity on the Super Nintendo is a really nice port of the original SimCity from probably Amiga mostly, definitely on PC as well, but there was a port of SimCity 2000 later on, which was not great. I haven't played it much, but from what I've seen on Super Nintendo, it did not run well as it did on PC. But this version is just very unique in its sound, its playstyle, and it's really fun. I do have a city called Rickville that I was playing, so we'll jump right in it. Here's my city, Rickville. Which apparently lost all power. That might be because the power station is initializing, but SimCity on Super Nintendo, and this is a little bright, so let me change that. So different. That's the problem with hopping too many games here. It just keeps changing audio, and yeah, it's a little more, or a little more better, a little more accurate to what I'm seeing on the CRT. It is still a bright game, but that was very bright. So SimCity on Super Nintendo is very similar to the original SimCity, with the exception that they have kind of like unique features that go with the Super Nintendo and Nintendo, when you have little gifts you can put in your cities and things like that, which make it really cool. Otherwise, you're putting on residential blocks, you're putting on this industrial and commercial, and you're building special buildings. That's really the core core loop here now. We have the fastest game time because I'm trying to make money. I've learned from my mistake from the SimCity 2000 stream where I just drained my city of money within like 3 minutes. So I was really trying to meet that curve. So I have a loan, you can't pay it back, but my city is at least growing and I'm getting money, albeit slowly. The problem with this one is that they seem to change what they want very quickly, and the seasons change, which is real nice too. And yes, I think I mentioned it before, on the Super Nintendo version, you don't have to build any roads. A railway, as you can see, has the same effect or function. So you actually can just put rail everywhere, and they complain like, not enough roads, but it still works. So yes, you can use a train everywhere, and that saves you on pollution quite a bit, which I think is pretty funny. We have Will Wright here. I know, it's a little high, but I'd like to get money. I can lower the tax rate 1, probably. That cuts into my profits, obviously, but fine. We'll do that then and see what they say. Crime. I thought I had police stations everywhere. Yeah, I really, you keep saying that too. I didn't need to get the Exodus collection too. It sounds really awesome. What I need to do is plug in another hard drive on my server, because the one I have in there, the hard drive is getting full. Crime, where do we have crime? Oh boy, the industrial area up here is a redundant crime. Alright, we'll build a police station up here then. There we go. Make sure they're fully funded. Stats. Yep, they are. So still crime, yep. Say pride, overlapping coverage in high crime areas. Yeah, I have a lot of police stations in the city. I'm not sure why we have so much crime, but oh well. Put on something that doesn't call it mass transit as opposed to rail. Otherwise, the rules are the same for any SimCity game like this. It's You know, again, you build the basic necessities: power, power or a nuclear power plant. You build industrial areas. You build commercial, residential, and then you have sports arenas and dock and things like that. It's pretty no frills in that sense, but it is a very enjoyable game, and I spent many hours just slowly but surely building up on my my city. So, oh, sweet! You can download the course of the Exodus. You don't have to download the whole pack because it is substantial, isn't it? Like 700 gig or something like that for the whole collection. I mean, I'd like to have the whole collection because what I find now is that my next video is a 3 to 6 compact, and I'm gonna start editing it here now, tonight or tomorrow. So it should hopefully be out in a few days. I'm trying really hard to get on a schedule to produce videos more frequently, so they're not sitting for like 3 months in between. Even if it's not every 2 weeks, I'm hoping 3 weeks or within a month for each video. Yes, pollution is very high. And what I find now is that, yes, I have a lot of box games, big box. They're all big box games behind me here. And back there is the console collection too, way back there, but console games. But alright, I'm a capital. Population of more than 50,000 people. Congratulations, your capital, or city, has become a capital. All eyes are on you now, so it's time to show your stuff. Build airports and seaports to improve your commercial and industrial zones. That's a lot of game stuff. And I assume, and you get different music depending on the size of your city, which also is really cool. Scale model of the city. You can see it using view in your information window. Nice. Look at that. Just a forced perspective of my town. Neat. How to get out of this? There we go. No, we don't need more roads. We got a railway. So I find myself like playing some of the games that I had on an old DOS collection, and in that case, I didn't have my 386 networked, and I have all my other retro computer network basically. I had to run with floppies back and forth, but finding the right version of the ones I had or abandonware is still difficult. So I kind of want to have, which I'm guessing why you download it too, is just to have the be-all end-all collection. Here's all the DOS games. You know, Exodus, I assume, goes back to everything. I mean, there's 7,000 games, and then you pretty much have all of them. So I'm a little curious on the games that are in the collection, because are they like the originals? Are they the abandonware ones that have been cracked, that remove the copy protection? Because some games, have copy protection, or a lot of them do, and I'm not sure how they handle that. I think in the Exodus, they also dumped like the images and stuff like that, so I think it's intended to be a complete DOS collection, as I understand it, like everything, which is why it's so large. But the appeal to me will be able to just guarantee that I have the collection, which, I mean, it makes sense for me to download, but again, for the whole thing, I gotta slap it on a new drive. And I have another terabyte drive sitting from an old server. I need to put it in the new server, but that means turning the server off, taking it off the shelf, and yeah. And it's not a server per se, it's a workstation, so. And manuals, artworks, that's fantastic. Yeah, I do need to download it. It makes no sense for me not to have it, basically. Alright, they want more residential. Fine. I'll build another residential block. So, in this game, what you do is, the recommended approach is the donut, which is where you build like this, because it guarantees that all the blocks have roads and they have power, and this gives you the most efficiency for the map, and that's what you need to do in this game to get the max, which I think is 500,000 in population, and when you do, you get a Mario statue as a reward, and that's the ultimate honor in this game. But this way you can always put the things like the zoo is very beneficial to the residential area, so you put that in the middle here then. So and there's my mansion in the middle. Can't get to it, but it's there. And that guarantees that you can build the maximum amount in the space you have, because the biggest challenge you have in this game is that the map, you can select a map and there's like 1,000 to pick from. And I found online, this is one of the ones with the least amount of water on it. That's what's limiting factor. Eventually you run out of space. And admittedly, when I played this originally, as a kid, there is a virtually unlimited money cheat, and I used that a lot. Not gonna lie. I used that a lot. Then you can just build to your heart's content, but this here is a little more difficult. You gotta balance the budget a little more. Make sure that you have enough money to build stuff. In this case, I'm very low on funds. I took a loan out, I think, and I don't know how much is left on that loan. I got 15 months to pay still. But I had to grow my city, so I'm really trying to stay in the green, which is proving difficult. Again, I grabbed a list of other games that were ported from, you know, PC and Amiga and stuff. I might try an RPG next. There were a few of these dungeon crawling games that were ported, so... then a lot of the sim games actually were ported. Sim Ant is on here too. I've only played that on Amiga and PC, so I have the box from Amiga version, I think. There isn't much, and then we have music in this game, where there is music, but it's pretty quiet. See if I can turn up a little bit so you can hear it. But I remember, even as a kid, when I did the money cheat in this game, sitting and just waiting for my city to grow. I'm running on the fastest speed now too. And it just takes that long for the city to grow. And now, especially when I'm not making much money. But there is a high demand for commercial, and maybe we'll do this. I'm trying to kind of disperse a little bit, because they do want commercial. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Dang it. Sorry. Commercial. You can basically use the commercial to kind of insulate your residential areas from pollution. Seems so silly, but it does work. It's just quirks with this. I want to say this is the most advanced SimCity. And I didn't play the original SimCity until much later. Really? There's a big box version with the Exodus collection? That's awesome. Let's check that out. See, the Monk Island one was not appealing to me, mostly because it was too much. Like, I really wanted, like, again, the System Shock box that I got. I don't know where I know it up now, but the one I bought for limited run games is really nice, thick. It's the right size to fit in with the rest of the stuff. But then the Monk Island one was just too large. But to do an Exodus, like, you know, big box one, that's really cool. I don't know if they get around the license holder or copyright for all those games, or if they just kind of skirt that, but a lot of the games are abandonware, obviously, but with 7,000 games, I assume there's a lot of them that were not abandonware at this point. This is not a fast game at this point here now, because your city needs to grow a lot more, and it is not yet. So let's build more residential so we can increase our population. Again, just really trying to go into red, because I think you go bankrupt. I don't remember this one. But this is kind of the minimum block you build here. But I spent hours on this game, trying to get a city that's larger. And it's one of those games, very relaxing. You just kind of, you know, get a soda, lean back, slowly but surely build your city to where you want it. It takes a long time. I remember just sitting there staring, even again with unlimited money, just staring at my city, just, you know, like paint drying, but I just wanted to get more population. You need residential to increase your population, obviously, then you need commercial to make money, and then industrial as well for them to work somewhere, otherwise they get unhappy. See what's going to complain about. 7% is what we have, and that seems to be fair. But as you progress in this game here, it's a slower growth, you get less gifts. And that was one of the things I remember playing this game for. I really wanted to get the limited gifts that you get from playing. Again, if you get 500,000 in population, then you get a Mario statue, and that was the ultimate goal, but that was really hard to get, so... But yeah, I can't afford any of these things here now. I do have a stadium, and I do have a seaport. I do not have enough money for a airport. Say if anyone is joining us late, I don't think we've seen a lot more people come in. We're playing games that were ported from Amiga or PC primarily to the Super Nintendo on the MiSTer platform. So it's a hardware emulation platform that lets you recreate or emulate consoles and computers. A nice little package. But yeah, just waiting. Now they want industrial. We're not going to linger on SimCity very long because it is a very slow game. But it's very relaxing. I find SimCity to be just very relaxing and calm. And speaking of modern games too, a little bit, if you are okay with the Epic's game launcher or the Epic Game Store, they're giving away Cities Skyline free right now, which is basically what I would consider the spiritual successor to SimCity that's taken over the mantle or crown, since SimCity itself has kind of fallen by the wayside. Let's see, I'm trying to space out my industries here so they don't get too much pollution, but they're already complaining about it, so that's alright. They can just handle it. They want industries to work. We gotta, you know, put it somewhere. Real low on money now. They want everything, but I'm not getting much money. Let's see what our taxes bring this year. Higher population means more taxes. Okay. Evening, Joseph. Thanks for joining again. You like watching during during work, so I appreciate you joining pretty frequently. So, trying to get my city to get bigger here. I feel that I want to pan around a lot, and you see how much like the controls for this game are pretty ingrained in my mind. It's funny how quickly I picked it up again. But I think every time you do this, you're freezing the game too. So, I believe map 137 is one of the largest like landmass maps in this game. That lets you have the most space to build on. That becomes much of a problem later in the game when you run out of. You cannot terraform or change the territory. You cannot make the water into ground in this one. You do get like 2 or 3 landfill bonuses later, which is just a square, and that's it. So if you get a map that's primarily water, then you literally cannot make I think they call it Megalopolis. Metropolis is 100,000 people, and Megalopolis is 500. You cannot literally make it, so. But our city is kind of bustling around. It's growing fast, so. How's the crime looking here now? Because they sure... Boy, they just want police stations everywhere. Fine, we'll build more residential block here, I guess. Police headquarters. Why don't you build a police department headquarters? A state-of-the-art facility will give the citizens of your city a wider area of police protection. I think you get the automatically after a certain number of police stations built, so we'll put that down somewhere in an area that has a lot of crime, I guess. And that will help there. And yes, this game is disastrous, obviously, because it's SimCity. So let's see, where do we have the most crime here now? Wait, it's just so much crime. There's police stations freaking everywhere. Fine, I'll put this here then. Woo! Alright, we'll build a commercial block here then, since they want that too. And I am out of money. I don't want to build anything more. So that's... When you're playing without the cheat, you kind of run into that limit all the time. So we'll switch to something more exciting here in a minute, but... Let me look at the list of games that were ported. Maybe we'll try one of the RPGs here. Actually, there's one I want to really try out that I've never played on Super Nintendo, but I played it on PC, so I have no idea how it plays. We'll find out shortly. Stay tuned! I don't want to give it away. I'm going to be that YouTuber that just spends 12 minutes talking about something before revealing the one secret trick to grow your channel or the one secret product, and that drives me nuts. So there's people that are working off the algorithm, right? So when I made my VGA capture device one, I specifically in the beginning put, here's the device, here you go, there it is. And then I went into the deeper dive, but it's the nature of the biz, right? So, unfortunately. And I just can't bring myself to make the thumbnails where I go and have the white outline or pointing at the thing, and yeah, they have to do that because that's how they get noticed or picked up by the algorithm, so... I get mesmerized. I get into this. This is probably one of my... As a kid, I would just... as a kid, I would just, you know, get a soda and chips or something and then just play this for hours, so... Ah, Prey, the new one, you mean? Or you mean the new one that came out in 2016 or 17? 17 or 18? The one that's like a immersive game? Or do you mean the Prey from... What was that? 2000 something? Because I know they did have the new one come out, which it looks really cool. Where you're on the space station, and it's a spiritual successor almost to System Shock 2. I've heard enough of good things about that one. I should play it too, but yeah, I'm not making a lot of money. I think I have to reduce my transport funding here a little bit. It's too expensive, and then raise my taxes a little bit. Just 2006. Okay, so that's the gotcha. The one Prey that was basically out on that came out on 360 then, Xbox 360. That's the one I remember from that era. But that one's supposed to be cool too. It's funny because Prey was in development hell forever, I think. It was supposed to be one of the first games with 3D shooter with portals, so you could, you know, toss things through. I remember right? I remember reading features on it, and it was going to use the Quake 2 engine, and it was super long ago that it was in development, and it finally, I think it changed several times into the Prey that finally came out in 2006, if my memory serves me right. Which it rarely does, but I don't want to Google stuff while I'm streaming, so... Okay. Set on a spaceship. That's right, because you get abducted or whatever. Tommy, I think the main character's name is, or something like that. You get abducted into a space station and gotta survive. Got a little more money to build a little more. I'm gonna call here soon on this particular one, because yeah, it's not very exciting. But it's a relaxing game. If you have access to Super Nintendo emulation and you enjoy this slow type of game, I do recommend it. It is quite fun. Because it's not super complicated. It's not... It doesn't have a water or sewage system. You know, it's just power. Oh, no, I'm out of power. That's not good, because I don't have enough money to build. That's a problem. Can I take a loan? Nope. I am out of money. Yeah, I've never played... I'll save this and call it good here, but... I mean, it just goes to the screen when you end it, so... yeah, Blade Runner, I've heard also nothing but good things, but I didn't buy it. My friend had it. I never ended up buying it. But I've seen or heard nothing but good things about that one. That's right, we want to try one game here. See if I have it. So this should, in theory, be all Super Nintendo games. It's funny you have to go to the Super section. Like, wee, Super games. Syndicate was a Bullfrog game where you control a group of agents that are cyber enhanced, speaking of cyber stuff. And certainly I played it the first time on Amiga, and I'm pretty sure it was on PC, and then the follow-up was the Syndicate Wars that came out quite a bit later. But I have never played it on Super Nintendo. I saw it being ported to this, but I never played it on here, so... I'm really curious to see how well or poorly it plays. Not much movement. Practice mode. Oh wow, you have versus mode too? Master control. Let's jump right into it. Start game. I've never played this, so... I mean, I played Syndicate, but I have not played it on the Super Nintendo. Loading or doing anything? There we go. Okay. Can you do anything here? Okay. You got to pick your characters. I'm trying to remember now how to, you know, play this game. So that's the weapons. I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but it's probably fine. Boy, it feels like this will be good to have the manual for or something, but... So that does something. I'm like removing them from the roster, I think, but... They're weapons. Boy, I'm gonna go into a mission here and have a bad time. I don't want to purchase that. Oh, yeah, I'm in a briefing now, so, you know. Overnet node AR-77 has located the kidnapped son of a judge. He is being held hostage by free market extremists. Persuade these bandits that we have better uses for their talents. Additional, bring back the judge's son. No promises. I don't know how to start this, but... So confusing. Okay, now it's like leading me through all these. Research. I don't even know how to get into the game. I have to pick my agents first. It's weird because like the buttons aren't responding the way I'm expecting them to. These are on the crowd chamber, guys. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's that. We don't need any parts, right? So why can't I go into the actual mission? Huh. Boy, it's... It's warning me the audio bitrate is 0, which is lower than the recommended. Don't think it's 0. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, but otherwise I don't think the stream has gone down to 0 bitrate. Oh, what on earth? I should just stick to the platformers at this point. It's just so confusing. This is the research. Increase funding. There we go. Researching automatic. Okay. This is the parts, I think. Yeah. So let's buy legs for you, maybe? Oh, it just locked up. Back again. Huh, that's really weird. Hopefully you can still, Oh, interesting. Hopefully you can still see it then. It's weird that it cut out like that. Everything's fine here, so I can tell, but... Let's see. Yeah, I guess maybe it was my internet blipped or something. The harsh reality of the current situation, because there's a lot of people that, you know, are home and... Status unknown, status unknown. Boy, isn't this game everything you ever dreamed of? I might have to abandon this here. I don't even know how to get into a mission. I looked at the briefing. They all have guns equipped. They're angry, though. The Then you can equip them with cyberware. YouTube maybe that's having a problem. I did have that the other day. I know they were all down. So there we go. Purchase. Legs. There, you have legs 1. You get a heart. You need a heart. You have beautiful eyes. Robot eyes. So again, how do you go on a mission? Let's go in here. Start. Select. Shouldn't be this hard, right? No buttons do anything. I can switch around between these like modes here, but I can't like activate on the I figured it would be down here for the actual mission, but that switches between the different things. Boy, yeah. Syndicate is super exciting. So one of those you really need the manual for or something? Okay, maybe it's there that I need the mission. There we go. A world of opportunity. Malfunctioning cyborgs are causing destruction and traffic congestion in the Munich contract zone. Deactivate them, return their weaponry, and let our enemies know what we are back in business. I see. So I picked the wrong region. Loading on the Super Nintendo. It's cartridge based. It's immediate. Let's probably just... There we go. We got all of them. Huh. That's interesting. It's a totally different playstyle. I mean, it looks a little anime style here. Neat. That's what runs surprisingly, Wow, we got that agent. Let's see, where's the other shots coming from here? Ouch. Oh, that's actually pretty neat. I'm a little surprised how neat this is. Because it plays similar to the original Syndicate, but yet different. Is that it? Yeah, the original Syndicate, you know, yeah, it is very cannon fodder-esque. You play, it's very, very similar in design, but it certainly looks different. It's got the same isometric view field, you do have agents and everything, but it's a point-and-click affair. And this looks more leaning into the anime part of it. The dystopian cyber future. I don't know what's in here, so... Don't know where I'm going now. I don't know how to finish this game, or finish this particular one. The AI, you can... So if I remember right, the cyborg components here, you can enhance them by injecting adrenaline to make them run faster, or do different things to make them do things, so... Oh, current bitrate went to 0. Hopefully the game didn't freeze up again. The stream shows healthy otherwise, I think, but... Stream health? Well, it says excellent stream status, but hopefully it didn't lock up again for you guys. Alright, this isn't very fun, honestly, so... speaking of cannon fodder, I think it actually is on here. Maybe they never ported that. Oh, never mind. Thought I did port that to Super Nintendo, but I guess I am incorrect. Yeah, Cannon Fodder. I don't see it here, right? Cannondale Cup. Huh. Apparently I don't have a ROM on it, so it's called something else, but let's see if we can find, like... I know. This is a classic Out of This World. That's a phenomenal, very cinematic style game, and which one of the best intros in like all of classic gaming. Which I think was kept intact on the Super Nintendo from the Amiga version. Just the atmosphere they built in this game is just tremendous. It's super hard, but from the Diary of Lester Knight Chaikin, I am taking advantage of this short period of rest to record some useful information into my notebook, which will survive my recent adventures. I'm now separated from my companion, who without his help I would still be trapped. I hope I manage to find him. I owe him my life. Right now I'm lost in a maze of underground corridors. I cannot tell how long I've been wandering, and I constantly encounter streams that threaten to flood these corridors at any time. Luckily, I found a weapon that can blast a hole in almost anything that I can find. It has saved my life countless times. There are many guards roaming these corridors. I must be moving along before I... Dun 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 dun. Yeah, Super Nintendo is just... Yeah, Super Nintendo is probably one of my favorite consoles of all time, just because of the breadth of different games that were on it, and just the type of 16-bit style on it, you know, it was kind of like the consoleized Amiga 500 in that sense, which the CD32 was supposed to be. Here's that magnificent intro. Vector-based 3D graphics, or whatever you want to call it here, but this blew me away. My neighbor showed me on the Amiga 500. Remember, the Amiga 500 came out in like 85. Which can run this stock, if I remember right. The atmosphere, the animation style, just delicious. I remember my neighbor, he was over playing or whatever, and he was describing this intro very vividly, very excitedly. Oh, the guy's doing that, and like, he scans his key, his pocket is like, oh, I see you drove a Ferrari, and you thought it was just so cool. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And then he showed it to him, and I was like, this is so cool. I don't know how they did this. I don't know Flashback, which is the sequel to this, or spiritual successor. They're not in the same universe, but how they did that. Because that also was using a... I mean, it was a very similar game engine, if not the same one, obviously. Fantastic animation as well. Let's say I prefer on the... I see you have driven here in your Ferrari. Like, I remember him describing that to me. It's like, oh, it just uses keys in the pockets. Like, oh, so rad. Yes, we said rad back in the day, I guess. 1997, Peanut Computer. It's the future. He's in a particle accelerator. And this game is also punishingly difficult, and it uses the same, you know, trial and error. You try something, you die, you try something a little different, and you just keep redoing it until you get further and further. And it's just brutal. You just gotta learn as you kind of progress. I remember this was just so cool looking. And this game leans extremely heavily on atmosphere when you're in this alien world. Out of This World, or Another World as it was called in Europe, or was it... It's one or the other. Is Another World in Europe, or Out of This World in Europe? I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Another World in Europe, and then Out of This World in America, but someone correct me there. Uh-oh. Those darn lightning strikes. Oh no! Pop. It's funny, it's like playing these 16-bit games now, how many games lean on that aesthetic today. or even amplified. Start. So now this game dumps you right when that happens. And they don't explain anything, they just dump you in and you're expected to just figure it out. If you do nothing, you will drown here. You just gotta swim up, otherwise you will drown and little things will come down and like everything kills you here, including that thing in the background there, like, huh, what's that? So that's jump, that's run, that's kick. This doesn't look good, we'll not go that way. Again, it uses that rotoscoping style very similarly. These things will one-shot kill you. No warning at all, they're just dead. You can jump over them, or you can kick them, but otherwise if they touch you, you die. Including when they fall down on you. So like, yeah, I'm just gonna run here, and whoa, that scared the bejeebus out of me when I was a kid. Oh no, run, 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 run. Good thing I knocked all those things away. It makes this... Whew, makes this thing a little easier. Oh, I pressed jump, but not fast enough. And that's it, and then you're back. So it's a very similar Prince of Persia style. I mean, especially based on animation. I can't remember if it was the same team that made this, so... At Fireborn76, I am streaming from America. I grew up in Scandinavia, which is why, but I'm in America right now, so... Gonna fall down on me, you little bastard there. Trying to knock these out to make my escape a little easier. I clearly missed a jump button there at the end. Yeah, it's terrifying. It's like... You start the game here, there's no explanation. Like, if you don't swim up, you die. If you touch those things, you die. If this thing catches you, as you just saw, you die. It's like, it's so unforgiving that you just learn and just progress a little more every time. Let's see if I can nail this jump now. Nope! Ah! I want to at least get that jump and get past the first part. I remember that too when my friend was showing it to me. He was like a third through the game. And it's not a very long game if you know what to do and can execute all the things as you're playing it. You can plow through this game and pretty quickly. But it's the precision you need on a lot of these things. And you're just so... like that. And... doop! And you are dead. That's it. Everything touches you, you're dead. So I think they're trying to like lean into the thing, you're in an alien world and you are alone here. It's funny too because you do get help from a native here later, which is a major part of the story, if you will. No one talks or anything, so it's just shown. Which again, leading into that atmosphere. I did not. Yeah, it is brutal. I did not realize there was a sequel to this on like Sega CD. Which follows then the your partner in crime that helps you later in the game after this guy's escaped. So this really might be Conrad, or maybe no, Conrad's probably from Flashback. I might get like, confused, but yeah, it is a brutal game. Come on, you can jump over these things too, but then you got to jump over on the way back. Pause. Now I don't want to pause it. I don't know, Escape from Singe Castle? That doesn't ring a bell to me, but... Come on. Yeah, some of these games are just brutal, and this certainly leans into the memorization and, like, you know, trial and error. Thanks, Highborn. I appreciate it. I'm really trying to stay on top of the channel in general and do more things. I do enjoy streaming on a... Except this freaking game. I do enjoy streaming on a schedule, and it's nice to just keep at it. But then I really want to push out more videos as well, which again, I'm already working on the next one, deep in that, hopefully coming out here soon. Unless I kill myself from this game, or just, you know, give it up. But then, imagine you just bought this game and then you're playing it. And again, the atmosphere is so cool. You want to see what comes next, but it's so brutally hard. There, squish those little worms. See, I made it here like several times, but I need to kind of psych yourself out or move too fast. I'm pretty sure I like to just get past the beast part if I can. At this rate, we'll be here all night. But yeah, it's fun to get into retro PC gaming and everything. And there's so many options now. It's like, yes, it's always cool to have original hardware, but things like DOSBox have gotten so good that if you want to experience that stuff, it's so easy. A lot of games are playable in browsers, and there's more accessibility than it used to be. I thoroughly enjoy the original hardware, you know, feel and messing with it and getting it to work. That's super fun. But sometimes, like in this case here, the MiSTer is so handy if I just want to play them and have fun. Couple times. We'll try a couple more times, then we'll move on. Yeah, no, there are cheats in this game. The cool thing with the MiSTer is, since it is basically, yes, you know, hex editor and everything too, you can go down here to cheats. Unfortunately, some of these, like, so infinite health will make you unkillable. I don't know what that does. Start with the gun on stage 2. So yeah, you can check these things that basically are hex edits, right, on what they do. And they function kind of like a Game Genie. There are some Game Genie codes that are applicable. There are raw memory mapping things that people have figured out. Because that's what Game Genie is manipulating the memory, or, you know, on the cartridge. And often what they do is you can, in Game Genie stuff, especially in software, you can basically set it to check for memory address. Like, okay, so then you take a hit to show like your health going down, right? And then you know that hex value changed, and then you can use that in... Have a little bit of lead time this time. Come on. Finally made it. I seem to make it all the way back. This is a terrifying way to start this game. Run! Come on. Ooh, I think we finally made it. There we go. You're like, yay, you saved me. Huzzah. Hi. Hello. Hello, nope. Again, the atmosphere in this game is phenomenal, even though it is brutally hard and just trial and error, and you die many gruesome deaths. So it is similar to Prince of Persia in that style, and that's why I wonder. I don't know if it was the same makers or not, but they definitely use similar animation techniques of getting the stop motion, or not stop motion, but the animations and everything. So here's your friend. Yay! Made it past the first section of the first stage. In this case, you're just in this cage and it doesn't tell you anything, so it's very immersive in that sense. It doesn't like over-explain or, you know, press B to shoot. And in this case here, all you can do is swing the cage back and forth. And he doesn't like that. It falls on him. Haha. How fortuitous. Alright, I think you can... Good job. I will help you. I think it looked... I always thought this looked like the Master System Zapper. I have a gun now. And it's effective. Very effective. It's charcoal's bad guys. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. And you're dead. And you start over. Alright, that's enough another world, because that will take so long. Let me see what's else on the list here, because yeah, we do have Flashback, the sequel to this, basically. I will go with one that's a little slower and nicer now. One that my brother played a lot, and that would be Lemmings. That was also on like every system known to man, I think, for a while, imported everywhere. And I believe this was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, even. Again, they took the original Lemmings that was on computers, and then they just kind of enhanced it for Super Nintendo. Trying to find a volume again here, make sure it's gonna hear something. Yeah, I know. Oh no! Pop, 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 pop. Everyone did that when you're playing Lemmings. Of course, if you fail a stage, or if you're just feeling, you know, diabolical, you can detonate all your Lemmings and they just explode. And I always thought that was pretty fun. You pretty much always end the stage that way, almost. Just... But yeah, this is one that my brother played a lot. And the sound effects to me are very reminiscent of the original. Just dig. The dig level. Let's go. And, I mean, I think this is one of the, you know, graphically, sure, you guys can all just dig away here. Doesn't matter, they all get saved. It's very easy the first few levels, but then it gets, of course, progressively harder. It's a very nice version of Lemmings. You know, it uses, I think, the VGA graphics modes and everything, or they kind of enhanced from that version. I always thought this looked like a big toenail. The exit number here. It's a toenail. Anyway. Oh, hello, Osmodius. Welcome to the stream. We're playing Lemmings now. We've cycled through quite a few different PC ports to Super Nintendo. I'm trying to remember which ones we did now, but a whole bunch of them. We're on Lemmings now because I wanted some game that I recognize, because we were playing Another World or Out of This World previously, and I died relentlessly. So now we're playing this game, which is a lot easier. At least the beginning of it is. It gets harder progressively. We're playing on the MiSTer, as you probably saw. But I love this platform, and there's so many cool things you can emulate on here. And again, it's the... I'll go into a little tirade or side note again there. The people... we have not played Worms. Was that on Super Nintendo? Have to check. Of course, here we're given all umbrellas. Otherwise, they will fall to their untimely death. Because I don't remember if Worms was on Super Nintendo. Because I did get a list of different ones. Yeah, okay, so we can try that next too. I'm not sure I played it on Super Nintendo, but this was a launch title, I'm pretty sure. At least, if not a launch title, very, very early. I have vivid memories of my brother playing this, but... nice. I'll have to check that out then. I was going to ask for a request earlier if anyone had any particular games they knew that were ported from a computer of some variety to SNES. And not that I can't play any SNES game on this thing, but I wanted to have some focus on it, so... the camera angle is because I'm playing on the CRT down here versus my... Well, sorry, the PVM for the MiSTer versus my computer, which is over here, which is why that angle is different. Otherwise, you'd be looking at, like, my side shot like this the entire time. That's really the only reason. And the reason I'm playing on the MiSTer tonight is I've cannibalized a couple of things, including keyboard and mouse and stuff, for the video I'm working on, which is the 386 that's behind me somewhere here. That's going to come out here, hopefully in a few days. We'll see. I'm editing it here. And I needed a few parts and stuff, so I didn't want to put everything back together. I don't have speakers hooked up right now here and stuff like that, so I wanted to... MechWarrior, definitely I saw that. I did try that out. I think MechWarrior, at least one of them, is like a top-down or isometric version of the game, too. I know there's one that's first-person as well. But I did find a really good list online that someone compiled, and I think it was just a forum post from like 7 years ago, which is a whole bunch of different PC ports. You know, Wing Commander included there, and there's some of the Ultima games, and we have some of the Ultima Underground, or the, can't remember, Dungeon, something like that. Anyway, I'll look up, but I got a big list here. Some of the games that I saw on here would be like, you know, Cannon Fodder, we talked about earlier, which I did not have in my ROM collection. I was surprised here. Chess Master, Chuck Rock, one that we could check out, Civilization, which it's a different beast on this one. Dungeon Master, one I was thinking of. Out the Beholder, Baseball 2000, First Samurai, Flashback, Gods, Humans, Kablooey, Kickoff, Legend, Lemmings, Lemmings 2, Math Blaster, Mech Warrior, Megalomania, Might and Magic 2 and 3, Nobunaga's Ambition, Obitus, On the Ball, Operation Thunderbolt, that list goes on. But we did play Prince of Persia earlier. Yes, what you're seeing up here, up there, is a clock. I think it's from ThinkGeek when they were still around, but yes, it's a RGB LED clock. So that actually shows the time then. So in this case here, it's mirrored now, I think, yeah. So it is, what time is it? 10, it's probably not great, but that would be the hand there. 10:20 or 10:15, whatever that is, what the time is now. And then the red one is the second, it gives kind of a trailing. And it actually has a Death Star mode, so from episode 4 or whatever, when they have the Death Star is 60 minutes away from firing range or whatever, and they have that, like, planet thing, they can do that too, so it's a pretty cool little device or clock. Now, of course, we have no choice but to detonate our remaining lemmings. I don't remember how to do that. Oh no! And it slows down remarkably as they disintegrate into particles here now. Poor lemmings. I don't think you can make the stage without sacrificing. You totally stormed that level. Yeah, only 10 casualties. Miners and climbers. And it's fun. Lemmings is a long tradition, or a long franchise. It's been around for a long time. And there's been so many iterations of the game, and different varieties and versions and whatnot. And I played most of the one on here, actually, Super Nintendo. And then I know my neighbor then played it on Amiga a lot. Oh, climbers. I gotta give them climbing ability, huh? You're right, it never does get old. Good music, too. It's not too loud. It's so difficult to get the audio right here now. Yeah, it's you know, again, I don't know how many, I mean, there's dozens of versions of Lemmings. What I really remember vividly was my neighbor down on Amiga. He got a hold of Lemmings 2, The Tribes. Oh, I thought that was so cool because it added like 30 lemming types. Versus these, you have these 10 and that's it. You gotta play the whole game this way, you know. And I thought that was just so cool. There were so many of them. And a lot of them did the same thing, and they just had multiple ones. You selected between the dozens and dozens of abilities ahead of time, and then when you went into stage, you then used those abilities. And again, I thought that was just so cool. 100%, alright. Yeah, the beginning is a tutorial. You don't really... You need bashers this time. Do-do-do-do. Super Nintendo is just... It's just such a solid console. Dig. There's a lot of digging to get through there. They gave you ample of diggers to get through these wire work here, but I think everyone with an Amiga played Lemmings. I'm gonna have to guess. It was kind of one of those games I think everyone had or knew about, or such a popular. Can we dig in through here? We have the technology or the manpower. Yeah, the Master System was solid. It was good. It's interesting because where I grew up, the Master System was not around very much. I don't know anyone who had it. It was one family we used to hang out with that we visited once in a while. That the older brother had a Master System. It was like my only exposure to it at all. I didn't know anyone else. It was NES country where I grew up. Scandinavia, the Nintendo was very, very strong there. Sega didn't have near the same foothold they did in the Americas. So it was Nintendo. Everyone I knew had an NES. Or, you know, Commodore was huge, so a lot of C64s, a lot of Amiga 500s. I mean, my circle there were like 3 or 4 block radius. I mean, there were like a dozen Amigas, and the older kids then were trading floppies, and I remember them coming like, yeah, I went to, you know, a friend's place, you know, 2 towns over, and we had a swap meet or whatever, and he comes back with just this stack of, like, you know, Amiga floppies. Like, you know, these are actually, a lot of these are actually original Amiga floppies, so I do have a whole bunch of them. But unfortunately, I was going through them. Many of them do not work. I've gotten in a lot at one time, and they just had not been stored properly and not taken care of. A lot of them dirty, so... Yeah, it seems like the Master System, I think, was quite superior to the NES as far as power goes, but, like, it has the same feeling like the Game Boy did, right? The Game Boy was simplistic, but it was the right device at the right time, and it just made a lot of money. Alright, so we're gonna detonate these guys. Sorry, not sorry. Oh no! It's a little sad, but it works. One of the powers you have is blow up lemming. And I mentioned earlier, but one of the powers of the MiSTer here now is that I'm playing on a PVM or CRT that I can play on a regular TV as well, with, you know, RGB out. So it's very crisp, very good quality signal on the CRT, but also HDMI out. And that allows me to capture very easily. Yes, blast processing. I didn't notice what blast processing was. I know there was the whole thing that, you know, Nintendo was, or Sega has blast processing, Nintendo doesn't, and it shows like a little car breaking down. The blast processing, and Digital Foundry did a phenomenal video on this. Yes, there's a cat there. This is the other cat. You guys don't see her on the stream that often. The older cat. The blast processing had nothing to do with speed at all. It had to do that it could, like, the Mega Drive. Yeah, there you go. I thought the Master System, honestly, because the Mega Drive, I didn't know many people that had either. Honestly, it was called a Genesis, or like here on Mega Drive, obviously, like you mentioned. But the I was thinking the Master System for real, because that's the one I was associated with that, which is why I had so little exposure to it. Or maybe we should try some other game now. I'm just plowing through the stuff right now. Let's try a Worm instead. I had a thought before the cat came in, but it was probably nothing important. Worms, where did he go? So I don't have it on here? Oh. That's too bad. Nope, I don't have worms on here. I'm clearly missing some as Wing Commander, but I'm not sure I feel like that one, but what else do we have? We have the Ultima series. Let's try a little Wolfenstein 3D. Yeah, 16-bit was, yeah, he grew up as a Sega kid. That was the thing. It was like Sega versus Nintendo. And Nintendo was very, very the big ones in Europe, especially in North America. Oh, the blast processing had nothing to do with speed. It just allowed it to, in certain conditions, in certain conditions, it allowed it to use more colors than it normally could represent in a still image. That was blast processing. But the marketing department got old. Blast processing? That sounds fast. Let's use that in our marketing. And there you go. That was the whole story of the blast processing thing and where that came from. Wolfenstein 3D runs a heck of a lot better than Doom did. Blaskovich, you've served the Republic well. You're our top operative, a one-man strike team. However, infiltrating the Master State will not be easy. MiSTer and his forces are determined to rule the world. Your first task, find and eliminate Hans Gross, MiSTer, most ruthless enforcer. He marshals the forces from a castle outside Dresden. You will have to wade through his crack forces to reach him. Good luck. Jeez. Oh yeah, I'm not good at Wolfenstein 3D, but this place a lot better than Doom did, as the graphics and engine is a lot simpler. I think in the original Wolfenstein, you're like a prisoner, because you start here in the prison, right? So again, using the awesome power of the Mode 7 engine, I think, which is just a, you know, sprite scaling. Whoa. No blood either. This is a kid-friendly game. Look, they took the swastikas out of the, I think it took, yep, they took MiSTer took his, mustache away. Whoa. Well, that plays reasonably well. Again, that's the nice part with the MiSTer, is that if you want to capture and do stuff like this, there's no fuss, no muss, because it does the dual output with the output board. There's a secret here somewhere. There it is. I have some vague memories of this. And you don't have to mess anything with the analog signal or anything. You just get perfect digital output. So, and in theory, then it's with the RGB, it's as good as you can get on RGB console with mods and everything. So if you spend everything to improve a single console, you're spending more than the MiSTer. Which, for me then, who have so many systems, the problem is like, which one do you commit to? Which one? Yeah, this plays really well and really smooth, honestly. Which one do you commit to? Okay. I'd use one of the Super FX chips or whatever. For this one. It wouldn't surprise me, yeah. Yeah, it was like rats, wasn't it? Did I miss that? Hey, stop shooting me. I only have 46% HP left. Oh, yeah, I'm already lost. Health. A map? Yeah. Look at that, it's a nice map, too. But it's certainly, you know... Yeah, what's the volume like here? I'm not sure if you guys even hear this. It's, again, you're switching games so often, it makes it really hard. Yeah, leaving the killing, but, you know, there's no blood, so it's okay. They aren't actually dying, they're sleeping. It's like playing Pokemon, and like... This guy shot, like, you know, drugged down moon from orbit and smashed into the other Pokemon. Oh no, the Pokemon fainted. Okay, that might have been dogs. They sure looked like rats to me there, but I don't know which they... Whoa! Ah! Sound like they're just kind of falling over instead of, you know, getting brutally murdered. I knew there was a secret here somewhere. I was gonna get through the first stage. I think it's just, you know, gets very samey very quickly. It's funny, id Software, ID Software, I'd probably say id, but how much they've innovated and done stuff over time. Oh, see, yeah, it's background movement then. But yeah, they use that a lot for pseudo 3D. You know, I'm trying to think of all the, you know, Final Fantasies and the map modes and the flying, and it was always Mode 7, just because they could. And also made a lot of the driving games, I'm assuming, using Mode 7. I'm thinking like Top Gear and those style of games were very smooth and good here, because it had a native way to do that versus like the Genesis had to do it in like software, which made it not quite as smooth and nice, perhaps. Oh, ooh. Everyone likes eating steak and roast they found on the floor of a castle. I mean, this is certainly playable. Compared to Doom earlier, which is like, yeah, I would feel bad if you bought that, but this is, you know, pretty close, yeah, to the PC version. It plays well enough, and there's a lot of secrets. id Software always puts in a lot of secrets. Halt. Whoa. But yeah, now it gets very samey. I think that's what all happens when I play Wolfenstein. Like, oh, cool. You play 2 or 3 levels, and like, this is exactly the same all the way through. That's where, you know, I feel like you hit that stride. Like, Doom and stuff is awesome, no doubt about it. But then when you get to the Duke Nukem 3D era, aha, got the machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun. You get to the 3D era of Duke Nukem and whatever, then there's so much interactivity and interesting level design because what the engine at that point afforded you. So that's why I feel like a lot of those 3D games are a lot more fun to play. If you're actually sitting down and playing a longer time. I mean, I remember when this came out, like, that's all there was to it, right? So, I'm gonna be like a snob like that, but I get more enjoyment over time. Yeah, Yoshi's Island, I think that is one of the like most difficult ones to emulate properly, for sure, because it is so difficult to do all that well, because they use the effects chip to such great effect. So I can show you a little thing with the the cool thing with the MiSTer is that it actually allows acceleration of the it actually allows boosting the super effects chip plus the core clock speed of the SNES itself to higher rates. So, oh yeah, but it does run better than the standard mode. And I explained earlier, but the way the MiSTer does it, and I'm not an expert by a long shot, but it doesn't just like boost the speed straight up. Like, it might run too fast, or, you know, game might go bonkers, because the speed is different. What it does is that it reduces the time between the cycles, which means that all the cycle-dependent functions stay the same. I'm already lost, so I'll switch to Star Fox quick and I'll show you. But it allows you to speed up things without actually breaking the game in the process. So Star Fox. And it doesn't get more iconic when it comes to Super Nintendo in this game. It's funny, I remember too, because this game came out, and I thought, like, oh man, the graphics is so cool, it's 3D, all the magazines were raving about it. I read the magazine and I'm like, wow, they're saying it's good, it must be fantastic. My cousin was like, it's kind of like blocky and ugly. I'm like, no, it's amazing, and she was like, no, it's ugly. I don't think I ever forgave her for that. It's the best game ever. Well, not ever, but it's a very good game. Phenomenal music, and you get a certain quality with the first-party Nintendo titles. We'll just do a quick detour here because we are going to go more to PC ports after this again here. I really just want to show the speed boost you get from using the overclock functions of the MiSTer. And it really is just, again, turbo boosting the CPU on the SNES, and then also increasing the speed of the super effects. And they don't just like, okay, now it's 100% faster. It's not what that's about. It's just providing a boost to it naturally, as close to the original as possible, but still using proper Gorod shading or whatever. It's like it's just a shade on it, on the polygons instead. We're jamming. Yeah, just ingrained in my brain. So here we have this game. Not fast. It was playable. Certainly playable. I mean, that's how we all played it, right? Except if you're on a PAL, then it's even slower, which I was. So So then what we do is we go to super effect speed and we set a turbo and we set a turbo, and now the game is actually quite a bit faster. I know it's hard to show directly on stream, but it does play a lot smoother. Of course, I'm going to get into this now and play it. Because if we then switch back... Oops. It's kind of choppy. And switch again. It is more playable and maybe more like we remember it. I'll say, it is one of the best songs. Woo. I think you get SPDIF out. Well, it does, but it's speeding up the game. Again, it's... I'm not going to go into technical details because I don't understand it fully myself, obviously, because I'm just a noob at this stuff. But it doesn't just speed up everything. It doesn't speed up the music, it doesn't speed everything else up. It just, as I understand it, reduces the timing between each cycle. So it's like a frame time speed up or something like that to make sense. So that's why it doesn't break the game. It doesn't cause... Most games run just fine, and they do the same thing on a Genesis, like Sonic Spinball is a very slow game. You enable turbo mode, it doesn't break the game, it just runs smoother and faster. So it's just like untapping the potential of it more. So that's also, again, it doesn't like, you know, run stupendously fast. So let's see what other game we have that's an actual port. No Worms I didn't have there. Maybe we can check out some RPG or something. We've done a few strategy games now, so... a racing game. So one I think that was on like every freaking system ever too. Super Chase HQ. I don't think I ever played this. I think I played it on arcade, honestly. It's my only real exposure to Super HQ or Super Chase HQ. Or Chase HQ, I should say. It's called Super because it's a Super Nintendo and everything was super. You want some Mode 7? I got your Mode 7 right here. Nice. Totally radical 90s guy. Partners with him and keep him under observation. We have reason to believe the gang was tipped off. The suspect was removed to prevent us from learning about their plans. Uh-oh. I'll turn loud, didn't it?
This is Nancy.
There's been an incident at the beach. The suspect was last seen driving a stolen red sports car. He's armed with a pistol. Proceed and apprehend immediately.
Good luck.
Hey, you want a 90s? You got 90s.
Roger.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. Turbo boost, apparently. Yeah, it was turbo boost. Haha. Whoa. Can I switch, like, view? No. That's pretty cool. But that's the problem with all these games that use this sort of driving engine is that the cars come up so flippin' fast because they're just like nothing, and they're a big sprite in your face. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's the thing. I played it in the arcade. I thought at a hotel when I was a kid that I think it was from behind view, and you could like helicopter drop like power-ups for you, but it may have been a different game too. I'm not sure. I still haven't found that exact one again. Where is he? How far do I have to go? That's the turbo booster. It's a nice little symbol of a turbo there, too. Yes, that's exactly how turbos work. You just, like, flatline turbo boost for a little while. I think it's a Porsche 9. Oh, there he is. There we go. Hey, shoot me, bro. So we have no weapons ourselves, or am I just missing something? Just slam into him. He's just gonna kill me here now soon if I don't get a better hit on him. Boy, he sure is going fast, though. He's speeding! Goodness, I'm running out of time. It's a hard one. Really have to, like, blow his car up? Yeah, I don't think so. It's like, I just have a vague memory. It was like a stand-up arcade cabinet, and you were playing a red car. It looked like a Porsche 928 or 914, like it is here. And then you would drive, and you're trying to chase someone down, I think, and a helicopter would drop power-ups for you. And one of the buttons was broken on the arcade machine, so you couldn't, like, do one of the functions. Like, you could get the gun, but you couldn't use it because it was broken. So that's just the only memory I have of it. And I mean, it sure smells and feels like it was a Chase HQ title of some variety, except an arcade. So I'll check that out and see if I can find it again. Yes, Cap. Well, that wasn't very fun. It looks really cool. I would say the graphics are awesome for the time. Boy, they released Shadow of the Beast on SNES? I did not know that. I'm gonna check that out. Shadow... Do I even have it? Shadow Run. No. Elite Shadow. Shadow Run is amazing. Shadow of the Beast I do not have. It's weird. I'm just missing some ROMs. Maybe I should re-download all the ROMs for this thing. We have a lot of different strategy games. But, sure, let's check out Civilization. That's a pretty... It was ported to everything. And doesn't get more classic computer game than Civilization. Now, that said, for that game, I haven't done any research or trying to find it or anything. So, maybe I'll put the legwork in instead of just rambling about it, but that's the only memories I have of it. But it's hard to Google, too. That car game where you're chasing someone with a gun, I mean, Google is pretty good at that kind of stuff, but still, that's asking a little much, so. The Civilization on SNES, I tested a little bit. It's a very different beast versus the PC ones, or the computer ones. It's pretty late title too, 94, 95. Marco Pros didn't make it, so... Game start. Oh yeah, we're playing Chieftain. 5 civilizations. Who should we be? We'll be Aztec. Lucky and well? That doesn't ring a bell, but unfortunately then, I don't know the name honestly at all. I'm so witty. Haha. Montezuma Ars. And it might be. I can look it up later too, what it looks like. Because that's the problem, is I have only the visual memory of it and not knowing the name or anything. It's weird. It's like this anime thing with the Civ version. And they put backstory behind it. Like, there's Gaia, I think, just creating... Yeah, beautiful goddess before Ars, the young leader of Aztec. Oh, Ars, I have a mission for you. I'm so witty. Build great cities and cause civilization to flourish throughout the earth. Lucky and wild. Yeah, I have to look it up, but yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, unfortunately. Of course, with that name, it sounds more like a... maybe. I don't think it was a shooter one. Yeah, there wasn't any gun attached or anything, so... I know. There goes my lucrative sponsor agreements and everything. So I put arse in there, but I also, when I was Googling Lucky and Wild, I realized I could be Googling some, you know... special kind of... entertainment. Yeah, this game I remember has loading screens here. I've only played this on emulator. I never had Civ on any console. Because, I mean, played that on Amiga and PC, for sure. But not on Super Nintendo. I didn't realize it was out on Super Nintendo. I think I remember seeing it in magazines. And again, it was a pretty late title. It was pretty advanced for Super Nintendo. Because, I mean, 93, 94, so the PlayStation came out in 95. So that was kind of the turning point of the 3D home console generation, right? Location for cities, and build the first of them, your capital. Suitable cities are suitable sites are rivers, plains, and coastlines. Yes, cat. Or at some point near where a particular material resource can be exploited. No, we don't do any of this. So what's the move? We have been presented with the scrolls containing the ancient wisdom of the clans. Ooh. Nice, masonry. That's a nice one to start with. Controls are... This is a game that's made for, you know, keyboard and mouse, so... End of turn. Maybe we should just establish our city right here. Yeah, we'll build a city right here. Starting with 2 settlers. It's like, I know civilization, but... city. Build a city. Yes. Oops. As I get more tired, I'm more witty here now, so... Welcome to Bumville. Well, that's very bright there, too. Again, these games are just... Every game has different, like, audio and... how the brightness is, so... Probably a little better. Yay! Bumville was founded. Yeah, it looks a little better. Bumville, 3960 BC. Build a palace. No, I should buy a build a militia for sure. We need some defense up in here, and then we will keep moving this way, I guess, to find. Ooh, look at that! End turn. Really, all this is making me want to is play Civilization on a proper machine at this point. So it's cool, but you've discovered a tribe of skilled mercenaries. Oh, nice. I mean, it's pretty advanced and it looks good, considering what it is. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna build up here. Look at the river and everything. On resources, tons of resources. That's where we're gonna build our second city. Gold? Oh yeah, they all had covered wagons. Civ can create some interesting juxtapositions where you have, you know, tanks fighting trebuchets, and that does happen. Was that a mountain square? I can't build there. But I can build one to the right, I think. No, I don't think it's that either. Lotus Pre-Turbo Challenge, I definitely played that on Amiga. It definitely had guns. And it was, unless Lotus Pre was a stand-up that had that. So it was definitely a stand-up with a steering wheel, I'm pretty sure. Sending you on a personal mission here not to find it. From my poor memory. This has been like, 20 years ago, so... Old. Keep getting older. I don't know how that works, though. Getting pretty deep here now. Let's see where we're going. Can you build a city here now? Yes, build a city. Alright, that's fine. Keep the same name now. Where do you have to... Okay, you can just select the default name, I think. Otherwise it has no name. Okay, I kept that name. I don't have energy to come up with witty names right now. Yeah, I haven't seen all the Robin Hood movies, but they, entertainment above accuracy, right? I think that's what makes me enjoy... I know The Expanse just dropped a new season. I love The Expanse so far. It's really like... I love their physical road blasters. I'm gonna look that up. I love their approach to the kind of physical approach to space travel. It takes a long time to travel. Acceleration continues endlessly unless you just get squished. Guns, momentum, depressurizing the cabin to shoot, and I don't know. It's really cool. That looks pretty much spot on. That's probably the one. That's what I'm guessing. Based on that single picture I found on Wikipedia here. Yep, I think you found it. That's the one, so... Thanks! Now one of my biggest childhood mysteries that I keep not thinking about is solved, so appreciate it. Now I found that, yeah, it's definitely Road Blaster. I was looking at that. Just that single picture for Wikipedia. Recognize the car has got to be. I'll look it up later more and watch some videos, but it wouldn't surprise me that's the one. I'm curious, how did you find her? Yep, that's exactly right. Limited number of uses, but then the button on the arcade machine we were playing on was broken, so you could not use the items even when they dropped. That's exactly right. It's funny too because yeah, we played Civ before. Can I now go into the city? No. City menu. I want to build something else. Production. Change. Granary. Now we need to build a... I don't remember in Civ 1 if you have to use the settlers to... But you had a worker. Well, maybe that's older. The unit menu, you are going to sentry here. Defense. That's fully playable. I mean, it's Civ. It's all, slow going to hop around like this much, but it works, and it plays just fine. A cat likes sitting on top of a machine. Racing game with guns. There you go. Nice. Did the research for me. Thank you. That's definitely the game, based on that picture. There's no doubt about it, so... Station is sitting in defense mode, just as settlers can be used to construct roads. Okay. You do need settlers for that. I should have kept one settler to build. This seems like the full, Civ experience, which is pretty impressive. City menus. We need to build another settler. 40 turns. Oof. This is a low production city. Unit menu. Fence. I'm not getting the hang of it. It's a nice sim version, so Let's see if we can maybe try something a little more actiony before calling it here. Yeah, let's try Mech Warrior, because that's such a PC game to me. Mech Warrior, there's a 3050 as well. I don't know how this Mech Warrior is, but well, that was not a bad version of Civ, honestly. That's what you had on Super Nintendo. It ran fine. It seemed to have a lot of the features. It's funny, I had a little puzzle piece in my brain now. It's filled in. I don't think about it often, but it does come up once in a while. Pew pew pew! Mech Warrior, big robots, pew pew! This might be the last one for tonight here, unless other people have requests. I'm trying to not play too late, because, yeah, it's easy to just keep going and going and going. And this game is too dark now. Good grief. And we'll go to here, and we'll crank up the brightness a little bit. Not too much. There we go. Practice mode. Boy, look at that 3D rendered. Ah, there we go. Got out of mode 7, zoom in. Protect base. Nice. I remember mostly playing Mech Warrior 2, 5 AM, yeah. I'm got a hand to you. It's impressive that you get up that, yeah, I don't know what mech that's supposed to be. This is a licensed one too, right? So now I'm like out of, I think I'm overheating probably. There's too much going on. That's Mech Warrior, alright, but I think my first real exposure to Mech Warrior was probably, how do you switch weapon? There we go. Mech Warrior 2 that I got with my 3D effects card. There we go. Eat. Yeah, I don't know what mech that was supposed to be, but yeah, Ted, I got a hand to you. You're up early. Hopefully you're not wrecking your entire schedule just to watch me, but appreciate it. You're probably the earliest riser here for watching the stream. Ooh. It has taken me 10 years to develop and refine my skills to the point where I am now ready to face the Darkwing Lance, the renegade mercenary cartel that destroyed my family all those years ago. Thank you for that random exposition. So, I guess this Mech Warrior here one, actually, you're building and managing your entire mech and everything, so it's impressive. I do not have nearly enough money for that. That's correct, Cat. So this is the one I have now. Probably need to do a mission or two here. HQ. Contract. Riot duty. Nice. Yeah, you're right. Time does stop. It's just... So... Choose mech for this mission. Okay, mech ready. Oh, so far it's pretty slick. Guess I didn't check to see if the sound was good here. The different countries are in different levels of lockdown, obviously, so... Quite loud there. Where are they? Kablooey! Got you. That plays pretty well. Mission complete, that was easy. Different countries doing different things, obviously, where we are here. There's no lockdown. They're just recommendations on what to do. There's no mask mandate here. There's pretty loose restrictions, so it varies greatly from area to area in America. I'm more proponent of locking things down more to get this over with, but I think at least the vaccine's coming in now, so that's good. Not a mission? I guess we have to repair our mech in between two. That's cool. Huh. I like this game. It's nice graphics and gotta earn money to... I know that's a lot of the mech warrior mercenaries and stuff. They rely on that, right, to have you make money and pay your team. And I do have a mech commander too, and unopened actually. Repair. And then do reload. Okay, so there's reloaded and repaired. Gotta keep that in mind for what you're spending. So we'll do one more mission here probably, and then see. It's getting, yes, late for me. Whoa, it really made me fly here. The map is so flat here. Oh, I'm overheated. Oh, that's always the thing with Mech Warrior and everything. Wasn't there, there was a recent one that came out, a new strategy game that seems to be very, very good. Heard nothing but good things of it, really. Here's a robot. That was easy. Survival rate. Yeah. Yeah, it's high survival rate, but yeah, I mean, America alone, I mean, I don't know how many, we're up to 300,000 dead so far. Keeps climbing. Thousands of people are getting it every day, so. What is a cat? Yep, she's a talker. She's a talkative cat. Ah, MechWar is pretty cool there. Assume that you keep just upgrading your mech and getting new stuff and making it cooler. Repair it. Make more money, more missions. Am I making money or am I just burning everything by... He's very vocal. Like in the morning, he says like, feed me, and she just walks on her face. It's one of those cats. Can you chat with your chums here? Yep. Yeah, whatever. Backstory. But it's still cool that I have it. Nice. That's pretty deep here. I'm a little surprised how... now, how many different like arenas you get to with that type of fight. That's a question, because it might get a little boring, I guess. There might be different mission types too. Garrison duty. Nice value. Another cat here. That's nice. Sure, we'll do that one. So, not that I can identify the mech that was definitely intro there or the beginning, but it certainly seems to have the other mech designs. I'm not that familiar with all of them. Probably the most, Timberwolf and the more common ones or famous ones, but that plays really smooth too. That's very helpful. Huh, yeah, that's really, I'm impressed by this game for sure. And this feels like, was there the original Mech Warrior like this? I mean, I know I'm showing my ignorance here now, but Mech Warrior 2 is the first... Oh no! I am destroyed. My first... My first experience with Mech Warrior was really Mech Warrior 2. I said my Voodoo card, so that's where I saw my stuff, or the original I will do a little palate cleansing, some classic Mega Man. This is a game it's one of my favorite games, honestly. I played it to death, so we'll just play a little standard Mega Man X, and then we'll call it. So this game I know. Yeah, I was surprised how well it ran there, and that was without any of the overclock stuff, but. Oops, no, that's not what I want. There we go. It's got to have a dash on the shoulder button. Of course, you don't get the dash until you get past the intro stage, but... This is about as iconic as it gets for me, and I mean, I pretty much know this game from the back of my hand. I've played it so much. Not to say I'm good at it, but I certainly have played it a lot. And again, it's just once you're playing on the MiSTer, and you just, especially with a Super Nintendo style controller here now, you're basically just forgetting that you are playing on a emulation device. It just plays like you expect it to. Same slowdowns, same sprite limitations. Of course, my trigger finger isn't as fast as it used to be, so it's funny because I bought this game when it came out, and I spent my hard-earned money and allowance and everything, and I beat it in like 2 days. I was so disappointed because like I just worked so hard to get the money, and then it was gone in a flash. So I actually went to the local toy store where I bought it in my small hometown, and they took pity on me, so they took the game back, returned it, and I mean, they knew who I was and everything. So then I used that money then to... I think they gave me a little less money than it was actually worth, because they had to sell it as a used one. But they charged a lot of money for their games. It was a small town. And I used that other money to buy Stunt Race FX, which is arguably a much, much worse game, which I also played all the way through and beat. That is a slow game on Super Nintendo. And remember, in PAL, which is what I played on, the games run even slower because of the 50 hertz thing. It's brutally slow. I played it all the way through that way, and I play it now, and it's like, how did I play this? And like, I have my original Super Nintendo, and I have my original cartridge of Stunt Race FX, and I played it again, and it's just, this is so slow. It's like a slideshow. Star Fox is just like butter by comparison. It's ridiculous. I don't know how I did it, but you did it. Again, you had the one game, and that's what you did, right? So, right, no, we veered off the PC topic here now too, but this was a time here now when this was out that right before I was heavily into Super Nintendo, and it wasn't until I got my 486-33 that I got into PCs again. Especially since, due to my parents' small business, we had access to rental Super Nintendo, which was free then for us to rent, so that gave me access to a lot of games. You're worth a piece of scrap metal. Did you think you could defeat me? And I played this game 150 times. 150 million times. When they actually made this game, or they were moving on from Mega Man series and we're going to make the X series, then Keiji Inafune, the creator of Mega Man, wanted to use Zero as this red guy. I guess I'm not powerful enough, blah blah blah. As the main protagonist. But Capcom felt that we need Mega Man again because he's a recognizable character. So that's why they used Mega Man again. Or created Mega Man X from that. But Zero is the one he wanted as the main character, which is why he gets so much cool screen time. And then, of course, he gets its own series later. It's going to beat the stage, and then we'll call it just... every time I play this, I have to get to that point at least. Once you get the dash, this game opens up tremendously. And there's few games that are just so plain. They can be hard and frustrating, no doubt about it. But gives you so much movement freedom as the X series. There's well-made platformers with right amount of upgrades and character design and just fun games. Certainly The X series is one of my favorite, and it gets really hard, some of the X games, for sure. But they just play so well. And again, I do enjoy watching speedruns. So watching speedruns of this game is nuts. This is X1 is probably one of the easier X games, so I will have retro PCs working again for my next stream next week, probably. So get back to normal. Maybe I'll even hook up to 386 and stream from that. Because that guy has a very loud, clicky hard drive, and it's got the whole kit and caboodle. Maybe I'll ship a microphone on the case, because that one just grinds. It's the original Connor 60 megabyte hard drive, though it is a loud one. Get the dash. Now we're good. Yep, story, backstory, all that stuff. If you want the backstory, just play the game. You can play this very easy on emulators now and everything. And I actually played a lot of the games later on the PC using the keyboard with num keys playing this. I didn't have a gamepad at the time when emulation was coming around finally. There's the key of the X series, is that dash that lets you just fly on stages. And that's the speed versus the original Mega Man games, which I like the original games too, the original Mega Man NES, but they don't hold a candle in the wind to the interactivity, or at least the speed you can play this game at because of the dash and wall jumping. Supposedly, the wall jumping came from someone being frustrated to find a new wall mechanic and kicking a wall, but I'm not sure how much I believe that. That seems a little too perfect. But again, this is why I love the MiSTer so much, because not only now do you have a Super Nintendo like this that I can stream easily from. Is it the original one? No, it's not. You know, it has its quirks and features and things like that that are not the same, or better, worse, whatever you want to call it. But just the flexibility of the platform. Nice. I do have a Saturn too. I really want to get an optical drive emulator for that, or ODE as they call it, so you can play ROMs on it, or ISO files, because that would be really cool to explore the Saturn library without paying a fortune. Because that is not a cheap system to collect for now. I do know this guy's pattern is pretty easy. If I say that as I get hit. I haven't died to this guy in years. It's embarrassing I'll do it live. There was actually a remake of this on PSP of all systems, just a reimagining of the same game. That was really cool, and unfortunately it didn't sell well enough for them to continue remaking the rest of the series, but yeah, I got this game, beat it in like 2 days, and that was it, so Doo-doo. Iconic. So anyway, this is Mega Man X. Just keep going like that. Just reset the MiSTer, and you get back to the main menu. So that's where you can pick all your... and again, as a reminder, then it has arcade cores, tons of different arcade systems, and also they've just released CPS 1 and CPS 2, which would be Capcom game systems then. Yeah, it was really good. I did enjoy that greatly. And I'm really sad I didn't continue them, unfortunately. Again, it didn't sell well enough. And I know they did the Mega Man Powered Up as the Mega Man original series, kind of more kid-friendly and everything, and it's really sad. Yeah, I did that too. Played through it as Vile. I did bought it digitally on the Vita, and it plays very well on there. It looks great on that screen. I have the original Vita with the OLED screen. But there's a ton of these. There's like the original Contra arcade system, you know. All of these are on here. There's Gunsmoke. That's all playable on here. With, again, if you pump it to a CRT, then it actually, a lot of arcade games are on the side because, well, that's what they were. Arcade cabinets a lot of time had a monitor on the side to get that taller aspect ratio. So then you get that full experience. It outputs the original video resolution on the RGB side as the original console and or system did, and that's what that's so cool about the MiSTer. Beyond that, you got all the computer cores. AO486, we checked that one obviously already. Apple, Atari ST, Amiga, of course, with the Mini MIG, Mac Plus, MSX, ARC. TRS 80, TI 99, a Spectrum. I mean, there's just so much, and that's just part of that. And then the consoles, of course, gets all the, like, the limit would be like 16-bit or upper 16-bit, like Neo Geo plays beautifully on here, and that was something people never thought it would support. But I think that the upper limit is probably, they working on a PlayStation Core now, probably not a year out. When that comes out, that's going to be awesome, because then you can play the entire PSX library on there too. Not to mention that you already have the TurboGrafx 16 or the PC Engine CD, which is hard to buy or get into. And Neo Geo, then again, like I mentioned, Sega CD, the entire Game Boy Advance library, Game Boy itself, which then makes it very easy to capture this stuff too. And it's just, I don't know, the MiSTer is probably my favorite, like, tech thing. And it can do other stuff too. I know there's been ports of different things, but there's just so much stuff that it can do, and it's phenomenal. If you're gonna buy like one retro thing that's gonna keep you occupied for a while, it's the MiSTer for sure. But anyway, that's a fun little stream there. Appreciate you guys hanging out and going through some of these old games. Some were good, some were not. So, and we'll see what we do next week. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter if you have suggestions for anything or specific ones you want to watch or play. Again, I have a lot of games, of course, physical, but then I will download the Exodus collection. I promised Ted, because you keep mentioning it, and it seems like a no-brainer for me to have that since there's so many games there. Nice to have it as an option. If you notice the MiSTer going dark there now, so it goes into like a screensaver mode after a while, so that's why. But that way I don't have to always fiddle around and finding the cartridges, or not cartridges, but some of the games. Like I have the original Space Quest and King's Quest in the original black box. Police Quest 2. Not Police Quest 2, but Police Quest as well. And this is the original release of Space Quest as far as I know. And it's really, nice. And now supports EGA. Yes, cat. But this is this rot. It's not going to play. So anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll figure out something else for next week. But until then, I'll see you next time. Good night. Good morning, Ted. Sorry. Have some coffee.